Hi, Edwin here. To mark the release of the third edition of our Presentation Essentials audio ebook, we put together a short medley of dialogues featured in the lessons. The ebook is free for premium members or can be purchased individually on our website at www.businessenglishpod.com.
Claude, if you're ready, please take it away.
Thank you, Perry, and good morning, everybody. A warm welcome from our Paris office, whether you are here in person or here via video from Sydney or New York. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Claude Daughtry, Senior Sales Analyst from our Consumer Products Division, and I'll be presenting our analysis of recent sales data. I will then examine some important trends and conclusions we can make about the growth of our product lines. After that, I plan to look at some forecasts and propose sales strategies to adjust to the trends we see developing. And that about wraps it up for the detailed sales figures. Now, let's see what we can conclude from the sales data. I've divided this section of the presentation into three parts. First, we're going to review historical sales in this market segment. Next, we'll discuss developing sales trends. And finally, we'll compare our performance with our chief competitors. So, let's talk about some of the history of our particular market niche.
Everybody ready? Okay. I'll lead into our discussion today with a quick look at sales over the last 5 quarters. I'm going to bring up our competitors one by one so we can have a look at how they've been doing in contrast to our own performance. Okay. Well, first there's Calltel. Let's leave sales there and move on to market share. Now, this graph shows us the trend in market share, starting in the first quarter of 2006, moving up to the present. The vertical axis represents billions of US dollars. Now, obviously, it's been a core part of our strategy to increase RPU by 10% per year from 2006 to 2011. We have met this target for 2006, and we are on track to continue strong growth this year.
Okay, that's all I have to say on this topic for the moment. Now, I'd like to recap the main points of my presentation before I open it up for questions. To sum up, first, I analyzed the sales results for 2006. Second, I explained how our special task force found major deficiencies in our sales training system and in our staff's basic sales skills. Finally, I proposed a recovery plan for 2007. Many thanks for your attention. So now, I'm very interested in hearing your comments.
Well, thank you very much. I'm sure we all agree that it's an interesting proposal.
Thank you.
Now, going back to what you were saying about our product lacking a clear value proposition.
That's a fair question, Brian. I know your team has worked very hard on the launch, and I've studied the latest survey results. But the proof is in the pudding. We have to ask ourselves, why aren't we selling more steel?
But how do we measure success?
You mean, how can we tell if it's working?
Yes, that's right.
That's a good question. I would expect to see a 5% increase in order volume 3 months after the rollout, 10% within 6 months. That's the main criterion. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thanks. But I guess another general point I'd like to raise is about staffing.
I think that raises a different issue. We can address staff changes and morale in another meeting. Time's running short. Let's stay focused.
Okay. Well, I think we only have a few minutes left. Is there one last question? Right. I'm afraid that's just about all we have time for.
Yes, thank you, Nick.